Hey, how's it going? My name is King Chelsea Jobs. Although there is a lot to love about Warzone, I think we can all agree that there is still plenty of room for improvement. Of course, there are the big issues, such as skill-based matchmaking, server quality, cheaters, and more, which all rightfully deserve tons of time and resources from the developers. But those big issues aren't what I'm here to talk about today. Instead, what I wanted to focus on is 14 smaller quality of life changes which, if implemented, still have the potential to transform our gameplay experience for the better. Now, I love thinking and talking about these kind of things. I'm a total nerd in that sense. So if you all have some other changes you'd like to see implemented, I'd love to hear about them down below in the comments. So with that, let's get into the first couple of ideas on my list, which are all related to loadouts. So first up, if your Warzone friends list is anything like mine, you've got people who are always on, and then you have some people that play maybe once a week or a couple times a month or once a season. And whenever I play with some of those more casual friends, there are two questions that they ask every single time. And they are, what guns should I use? Or what's the meta? And what attachments do I use on those guns? And then we spend 10 minutes sitting in the lobby, scrolling through 100 different attachments for each attachment slot to find the correct ones, realize that they don't have half of those unlocked, so we spend more time replacing those attachments, and then we finally queue up. So to resolve this issue, I would absolutely love the ability to just send my lobby or specific friends on my friends list the full class that I'm using. My weapons, perks, and utilities all included in that list. Now you might be thinking, but Jalbs, what if they don't have something unlocked? Well, a solution would just be to have a little pop-up or locked sign across the attachment slot or weapon saying, you don't have this weapon unlocked, or you don't have these attachments unlocked. Boom, they swap those out real quick, we queue up. Now, if adding a feature like this is too complex, then maybe there's something like a friends list loadout tab or an advanced social tab or something like that. One that shows your primary or favorited loadout to your party or friends list, and maybe just including that an easy way to copy and paste that loadout into your own loadout from your friends list. All right, that's gonna do it for number one. Number two is a very simple one, but it's also related to loadouts. Right now, at any buy station, you have the ability to purchase individual loadout guns from the buy station, ones that you created at the main menu. However, the caveat is that those weapons in the buy station are only the primary weapon slot, that first slot on the left from your created class loadouts. The second weapon, whatever loadout class it's in, won't ever show in the buy station. So in order to get that secondary as a weapon I can actually purchase, I have to have a whole other duplicate class just to be able to get that weapon I want. So what I'd like to see added in Warzone 4.0 is the ability to set specifically what custom weapons I would like to buy from the buy station. And while we're on the topic of buy stations, I also think it'd be nice if we could customize to our own liking the order in which items appear on the buy station menu. There have been countless times I've accidentally bought a PA instead of a loadout or died on the buy station because I just have to spend so much time in the menu. So being able to move things around to where I want them to be, or based on how often I use a specific item, would be an amazing quality of life change. Next up, and I think this is something we have all had happen to us before at some point, which is while in game, you get absolutely melted by someone and probably wonder out loud, what loadout was he using? But where the quality of life change comes into play is in seeing what attachments that enemy player was using specifically. Now, the thing about this is that the easy solution to this issue already exists in multiplayer, where on the kill cam, it shows the exact attachments the enemy player was using in the bottom right corner. But if you're anything like me, I'll look at those, try to remember them, but then forget them 30 seconds later. So what instead I would like to see added is a copycat function, along the lines of the death streak in the original Modern Warfare 2. So say I watch the kill cam of the guy who killed me. I see a pop-up on the screen that says copycat class. It brings it back with me to the lobby, and I can easily copy and paste it into my custom current loadouts. I think having that ability to easily snag an enemy's loadout and bring it back with you into the next game would be an amazing addition to Warzone. One more little thing I wanted to tag onto this, if this is a feature that they add sometime in the future, I think it'd be really cool to see if someone else in your game copies your class after you kill them, either, currently in the match or once you get back to the lobby. And maybe they could even add in like a calling card for it, like an imitation is the best form of flattery challenge, like 100 people have copied your loadouts in your Warzone matches. I think that'd be a cool little addition too. All right, let's move off of loadouts to number 5 on my list, which is all about advanced UAV pings. And the way advanced UAV pings function right now is they constantly show the location of an enemy player on your minimap, unlike regular UAV pings do with sweeps. But unlike regular UAV pings, advanced UAV pings do not display which level an enemy player is on in relation to you. And in my opinion, this almost entirely negates the purpose of an advanced UAV ping. because of how important that level indicator is in Warzone. When a ping doesn't show a level indicator, I have to waste time running around and trying to figure out what floor a player is on instead of being able to run directly towards them. Now, this issue doesn't only affect players when they call in an advanced UAV, because your enemy pings also change when you have the bird's eye perk equipped. So when you have that perk equipped, you pick up the comms vest, which by the way, you can never swap unless you find another vest on the floor, or you have the specialist perk package equipped, you are stuck with those pings that don't have level indicators. So overall, there are 4 different important game mechanics that are negatively impacted by advanced UAV pings lacking this basic functionality that's present on normal UAV pings. And all that Ravensoft would need to do in order to fix this is add some type of level indicator to advanced UAV pings, whether it's the carrot, which exists on regular UAV pings right now. You could change the color of the advanced UAV ping, or maybe even change the shape to indicate what level a player might be on in relation to you. Any of those types of changes would make the advanced UAV much better. Another quick change I'd like to see made when it comes to pings on the minimap is an adjustment to the layering. So right now, the way it stands, your own icon on the minimap is layered over everything else. This works well when you're trying to, say, dodge a precision airstrike and hide on the edge of zone, but where it becomes an issue is when you're trying to hunt down enemy players using the minimap pings in close quarters. And it's even worse when there are a lot of enemy players on multiple floors of a building, all very close to you. In these types of situations, it renders the minimap almost completely useless. And this small little change would make a huge difference in the usefulness of the minimap in any given situation. Next up on the list, we have a couple of ideas that came to me while I've been forced to play Resurgence squads with random teammates over the last couple of weeks. First, I think we need some kind of notification that lets the whole squad know when they have enough combined funds to purchase a loadout from the buy station. Because from my experience playing with randoms, it seems that a lot of people don't actually realize when they have enough money to go and get a loadout. So I think a easy solution for this would be to add an announcer voice line that says, hey, go to the buy station, or maybe an automatic buy station ping, or maybe even making the squad's money at the bottom left corner pulse. So everyone's eyes are drawn to that, and then they know that they can go and purchase a loadout. The next couple are related to when teammates disconnect. And I consider these to be more bugs than quality of life changes, but I still would like to see them fixed. First, you could still actually see disconnected teammates from the buy station, which I don't think should be a thing. And also, it seems like the amount of money it costs to actually purchase a loadout doesn't always adjust either when one of your teammates leaves the game. Now, both of these are minor annoyances, but I still would like to see them fixed. All right, number 9 on the list. Back in season 4, after one of my matches ended, I had a bug happen, which was actually pretty cool. And what happened was I was able to see every single player's name in my lobby and how many kills they had. Now, I don't know if this was accurate. I don't know if it was showing me the correct players' names or their correct kill count, but I think that this would be a really cool feature to see at the end of your lobbies, especially, you're paying attention to who you're taking out in that final top 3 scenario, and you can see how many kills that they had, and that's the player that you took out to win the game. I think that that could be a really rewarding aspect or a really rewarding gameplay loop if they added that to Warzone 4.0. But it'd also be interesting to just kind of see in general how the lobby is doing. But taking that into account, it makes me think that this isn't something that they're very likely to add just because of how secretive they are about skill-based matchmaking and how, sweaty your lobbies are on average, that kind of thing. Anyway, I think that would be a really awesome addition to Warzone matches. All right, number 10. I think Ravensoft or, just Activision in general need to focus on a better menu UI for all earned charms, stickers, and operator skins. And they've done this already with some of the minor other cosmetic details in the game, but we still can't filter, favorite, save, stickers, charms, or even favorite operator skins. And I think that having the ability to save that, to quickly access that, maybe filter by color if you're going for, like a combined theme on your operator or your weapons or like that kind of thing. Filtering down what you want to put on your weapons would be a really great feature to add to the game. Number 11 is one of my biggest gripes about modern Call of Duty in general. And this complaint is all about live pings. And in my opinion, they should just be removed. I don't want to have Combat Scout. I don't want to be able to live ping anyone. I don't want any of that. Being able to see exactly where a player is running through walls, it's just broken, right? There's no place for it, whether you're playing pubs or especially if you're playing ranked. It totally negates the purpose of smokes or the functionality or benefit of using smokes. It takes out that strategic element to the game. It nerfs players' movement, positioning, and almost entirely removes the usefulness of thermal scopes. And the existence of manual pings reduces the usefulness of combat Combat Scout as well, because I can just manually live ping someone. So to fix this issue, I think that ideally, live pings are just removed in general. Get them out of the game. But if they don't want to do that, I think that the cold-blooded perk should prevent me from being able to be live pinged manually or pinged by Combat Scout. Or if they don't want to do that, give me the spotted notification when I get manually live pinged, in addition to how that shows on your screen when you get pinged by Combat Scout. But one quick note on that, I really want to give props to Ravensoft and the developers in general for adding that spotted notification when you get pinged by Combat Scout. I think that itself is an excellent quality of life change. Number 12 is that I would love to see variable intro screens added to Warzone, because I don't know about you guys, but I am just a little bored of seeing me walk up to what's his name every single game, grab my parachute, and then walk to the plane while plane engines scream in my ears. I've seen that loading screen thousands of times. I'm not interested in seeing them anymore. Now, what I think they could replace that with is some kind of variable intro screen, something that highlights some players that are in the lobby, very similar to what they do for Apex, or maybe what they do at the end of the game in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, right? Where they show the top players on that team in the game. You know, at the same time, then people will probably see, oh, I've had an iridescent player in my lobby every single game for the entire week. Why am I getting put in these lobbies with players? Because that's a very common complaint that I see Apex players make on Reddit and Twitter and that kind of thing. So maybe they do something else where it's like most headshots, or they fell to their death the most times last game, or like, you know, get fun with it like they do at the end of the Warzone games, right? Like the winning team shows up and it's all of their accolades from that end screen from their previous Warzone game, that kind of thing. I just think that there's definitely some room for mixing things up and making the beginning of a Warzone match much more interesting. Next, we have number 13. This is to fix team wipe kill cams, or, you know, honestly, just kill cams in general. So I have a decent number of gripes with kill cams. A lot of times they're just laggy or completely broken, or they make the player that killed you look like a cheater, even though they're not, because the kill cam shows the player's aim snapping around the screen. But honestly, my biggest gripe is that when your team is wiped, it shows where you placed instead of showing the kill cam. If I didn't get first, I do not care where I placed in a Warzone match. I don't care, right? Unless it's a ranked mode. I would much rather see the kill cam of the enemy that wiped me instead of what I placed. And the last change I'd like to see made is a different audio cue applied to when an enemy self-revives and when they are being revived by a teammate. And here's an example from a previous video I posted where this got me into a lot of trouble. I get the knock, I then get an audio cue that a revive has started. I assume that it's this guy's teammate trying to stick the revive, but it's not that at all. It's the player that I knocked self-reviving. And so when I drop down, I get taken out and end up getting sent back to the lobby. And this is just a small change, but it really does make a difference in those team fights. All right, so those are my top 14 quality of life changes I'd love to see going into Warzone 4.0. And if you all would like to see me make another video like this one, maybe after the Black Ops 6 integration, make sure to leave a like down below, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. So with that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.